Hey y'all, this is Lauren from One Nana Two Girls, and I wanted to bring you another tutorial. I'm going to be making an ornament out of the 4 wide by 5 tall pieces here of the Canson board, and covered with this beautiful shamrock fabric, getting ready for some March pieces for a customer. And also, we'll be putting a ornament hook on here and making a bow for this piece. So, to get started, you cut your Canson Bristol board to the size that you need. And for this particular ornament, you'll be able to see fabric on all 4 sides of your stitched piece. So for this one, it's 4 wide by 5 tall. And yep, we make notes on the back so that we know which piece goes with what. So you need 2 pieces, and if you prefer to have the front and the back with the quilter's cotton, it's the Warm and Natural. If you prefer to have it on the front and back of your ornament, go ahead and spray both of your boards and apply the Warm and Natural to both pieces. If you just prefer to have the batting on the front side, that's okay as well. We do both here, so there's no right or wrong when it comes to that, but we do like to have the batting at least on the front. So get your 2 pieces that you need for your ornament and cover those with the Warm and Natural. And then you need 2 pieces of your fabric that you've selected, and we just lay our board on our fabric and cut with the rotary cutter around so that you have a nice about 5/8 of an inch around to pull to the back. And you'll need 2 pieces like that. You'll also need your Aleene's Original Tacky Glue, and when it comes time to put the 2 boards together, you'll also need your quilt clips. And that's about all you're going to need for right now. So let's go ahead and get started putting the fabric around to the back. So as I was talking about these little quilt clips, you could use these, or you can use clothespins. We get our clothespins at the Dollar Tree. They work great. So to put the 2 boards together, you can clip them with these or the spring hinged clothespins. Again, available at the Dollar Tree. I also forgot to mention, for the Warm and Natural to be put onto the front of the boards, we use the Aleene's Tacky Spray Glue, and it works great. It sticks to the boards very well. You just need a light spray over your board, and then lay your board upside down on your quilt batting, and on your rotary mat, use your rotary cutter. We use the Olfa brand. Use your rotary cutter to trim off any of the extra around the board, so you have a nice clean edge. Okay, so after you glue down your 2 sides, turn it over, make sure that everything is precise and that it's nice and clean and pulled tight. And then you want to take a look at your sides, and there's a little bit extra over here, so go ahead and trim off like so. And then you want to go ahead and trim your corners. So we trim off a triangle off the corner so that you can eliminate some of the excess bulk in the corner. And that helps when you're pulling the fabric over to the back. You want to go ahead and get that trimmed. Get all that excess out of there, because the less bulk you have, the better. Okay. And I think we'll get a little bit more off of this one. And we'll take a little bit more off the end over here, again, to eliminate some bulk. You can also use the rotary cutter here on the end to trim off if you have a little extra fabric. And you want a dab of glue there, a dab of glue here, and up on this upper part, a dab of glue here, here, and here. And when you're working with your corners, you want to work that fabric onto the top of this board. Push this down along the edge here to eliminate any lumps. And again, pull this up from the side. And you do want to eliminate those lumps there. So you just gently pull your fabric up onto the back of the board, press down your corner, and then you want to do a little dab of glue here, run your glue across, and you want to push your finger down along the edge of the board here and fold your fabric up so that you're getting a nice, crisp, clean edge along these corners. Okay. And again, on this side, make sure your fabric is snug. After you get both sides up onto the back, you want to give it an extra tug there for the corner so that you have a nice, precise corner. Because the last thing you want when you turn it over is like lumps there on the corners. So you can see they came out really nice there on the corners. Okay. All right. Let's do the other side. Dab of glue either side, down here on the fabric. Okay. Bring your corners up. And again, watch for your bulkiness. Press down. I cut off all my nails recently, so when I say press your nail down in, if you have short nails like I do, just press down in there. It'll work. And bring this fabric up ever so gently. And again, work it there on the back of the board so you're not having a lump here in the corner. It's easy to get lumps, but if you work at it and spend the extra few seconds making sure that it's down and you're pressing down, you'll have a really nice crease there and a really nice flat on the corners there. Okay, and again, not too much glue. You can see not too much glue. Okay, and pull your corner up. Make sure that you've got that pulled up real tight. And I am using a lot of pressure with my fingers. If you can't push as hard as I might be pushing, go ahead and lift the fabric from here and give it a pull, and then you can still create that same corner. So you can still do it. I know arthritis can sometimes creep up on us, and also other body things like neck pain and shoulder pains and stuff can really hinder when we're trying to work with our hands. But take your time and do how it works for you. Okay, so you can see I'm just gluing down any extra fabric back here to make sure that it's not loose or anything in here. You just put a little bit of glue there to make sure that it's gonna stay down and nice and tight. Use your scissors to trim off. Any threads there. Okay, set that one aside. I'll show you how it's done. Nice clean corners there. Okay, let's do the other side. This one again is 4 wide by 5 tall, so that's going to be in this fashion. If you have directional fabric, this is a non-directional fabric. If you have a directional fabric, please make sure that you watch how you're placing your board. There have been lots of times where when we've drawn an arrow with a pencil on the back of our board. So you'll just simply draw an arrow like this so that you know, okay, this is the top of my board. This is the top of my fabric. This is when you have a directional piece that's going on. So that's just a little hint for you. And if you're doing a lot of projects at one time, you can cut all your boards at once, get all that heavy cutting out of the way, and mark on the back what fabric is going with which set of boards. That's also another helpful tip. And I moved this one down, and I'm going to go ahead and trim off some fabric down here. And start to glue this side. I hope this tutorial helps inspire you to create some of your projects. Maybe you've been stitching a lot because you're in the snow like we are. Maybe you're stitching a lot because your family's gone home from the holidays and the new year and you have some extra time. Making your projects into an ornament. And let's use the term ornament loosely, right? Because you can hang these any time of the year. You don't have to have a tree always to put anything on. You can hang them on your curio cabinet doorknobs. You can hang them from a little shelf that might have some pegs where you can hang things from. Anywhere. Lots of different ideas that you can hang your items throughout the year. They don't have to just be on a tree of any kind. We have a whole handmade tree of ornaments that we've made over the years, or that friends have given us that are handmade. Let us know in the comments if you have a tree like that, or even a space in your home where you like to hang all of your handmade ornaments. Okay, and just gonna go ahead and trim off a little bit of this. Okay, and again, just put a little brush of glue under there to hold those down. All right, and time for the corners. Glue there, a dot of glue there, dot of glue there and there. And again, go ahead and bring that fabric up onto the back of the board. Push down here in the corner along the edge of the board. And again, on this side, Go ahead and pull up some fabric onto the back of the board. Push down along there. And apply glue again here along the edge. Fold your edge up over. The nice thing about the Aleene's tacky glue is you have a little bit to work with it. That's why we like it. It's our go-to for a lot of different crafting items, but especially for all of our boards that we make, and ornaments and flat folds, because you have a little bit of time to go back in and work with it. And if you need more, you need more. If you need... Thank you, Mom. She's bringing me my ribbons. She's so good with colors. I always like when she picks the ribbons for the projects because she's so good with colors. Does anyone stitch for winter? We're gonna be, oh, kitty! We're gonna be stitching some winter items because we got more snow than we've seen in a long time here in southwestern Pennsylvania. And we need some winter cross-stitch pieces. We didn't have very many. We just pulled them out to start switching from Christmas. And we didn't have very many. The kitty's very talkative. You'll have to excuse Daisy. She's been very talkative all day long. All right, and then pull that up. And you can see I've collected quite the amount of glue on my fingers here. Pull up your other corner. Okay. And again, these are for mounted ornaments. So you're going to see the fabric around your design. Once you finish your stitched piece, you can also use these for embroidery pieces too, by the way. You don't have to just use it for cross stitch, but once you finish stitching, then you do the same process that I'm doing right now to finish your stitched piece on the Canson board with the Warm and Natural quilt batting. And we like to use 2 layers of the Warm and Natural under when we finish our stitched piece, and then 1 layer here on the boards. So again, this is a 4x5, so this is going to be this way, and then you'll finish your stitched piece, and however big you want to leave around there, you know, it's up to you. We usually like to leave a decent amount of space so that there's room for the cording with the Krynic custom quarter around your stitched piece, and also you could use rickrack, if you will, or any kind of little trim that you might have, and put around your stitch piece, but you want to leave enough room that you can see your pretty fabric. Feel free to get on our Etsy store. We just curated a whole spring, summer, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, Easter, and some patriotic spring and some summer fabrics that are now on the Etsy store. So if you'd like to order a board or an ornament or a flat fold stand-up, we have all those available on our Etsy store, and all the new fabrics that we've just curated from our quilt fabric manufacturer are now live right on the Etsy store. So you can order an ornament any size that you need, a flat fold stand up, a fabric blank, which would just be simply like this with no ornament hanger. It would just be one that you could like prop up on something, on an easel, or your ornament. So feel free, go ahead and check out the fabrics that we have for you. And if you want to order one, please feel free. We're here, we're working. Even though it's cold and snowy outside, we are warm inside. So the next thing that you're going to do is the ornament hanger. So we'll go ahead and cut this beautiful ribbon. This is a green and cream plaid. What am I saying? It's a little gingham. So you can see how beautiful that is with the fabric here. So you just want to pick a coordinating ribbon to go with your piece. And then we're going to cut it and glue it in. I'll show you that. Okay, next. We are going to cut our hanger 8 inches. Okay. And then your hanger's going to crisscross like this in the middle here. So let me grab my ruler here. You want to find the center of your ornament. And I just use these little OmniGrid 6-inch rulers, unless my piece is bigger, of course. Then I use a bigger ruler from OmniGrid. I find OmniGrid to be the best quality of ruler. Personally, that's who we use. So you want to make sure that your ribbons are crisscrossed enough, angled enough when you're gluing them down. And you also want to make sure that the center of your cross up here, this point up here, is in the middle. So again, thankful why we use Aleene's tacky glue, because we'll have a few seconds to play around with that. Okay. The cross point right here as well needs to be at the very top edge of your piece. So put yourself a little bit of glue there in the center. And put your ribbon here. And again, like I said, we have a little bit of time with the glue. You want to make sure your glue's high enough not to splooge out over the edge of your project, but you want to make sure that your glue goes high enough so that the ribbons are glued clear to the edge. So you just want to be careful with how much glue you're using, just a little bit. So if you look here, the ribbon is centered right here where it comes together in the V at the top of your ornament. You can add a little more glue under the tails here to make them secure inside your ornament. You want to make sure that it is secure. Last thing you want is your hanger pulling up out of your ornament, which we've never had happen, by the way, but that's just something you do not want to happen. Okay. All right. Now, probably have to wipe your fingers off there. And just check yourself again. If you have the OmniGrid rotary cutting mats here like we do, you can tell ours are well loved. But if you have them here, then you can line up your ornament with the lines here and Also use your ruler. And I am going to move that out a little bit just to make sure everything's precise and looks perfect. The next thing that we're going to do is attach the front piece to the back piece. And we do that again with the Aleene's tacky glue and a paintbrush. You can use any paintbrush that you have lying around. They don't have to be anything special. So as long as you don't care that you're getting glue on the bristles, it's not one to be used for paint after this. So we have some separate for these projects. Go ahead and sit this one aside, and while you're gluing this one, that'll give the hanger a little bit of a chance to dry up a little bit. Get the glue to dry up a little bit. Go ahead and I just keep some fabric scraps nearby to go ahead and, clean off the tip of your glue bottle, because working with the fibers in the fabric, it tends to get, all junked up around the end there. So now we're going to place our glue pretty close to the edge, but not right up against the edge, all the way around. And you don't need to do the center yet. We're going to glue the center last. So go ahead and put a decent amount of glue all along your edging, basically where your fabric is. And if you look back on what you've done and you decide that doesn't look like enough, squeeze a little more on there. Okay, and down the side. Is anybody going to be stitching anything for Valentine's Day? Or the new Galentine's Day, I think they call it? I think that's for gal friends celebrating with their other gal friends. Because let's face it, sometimes our girlfriends are, there for us. And you need to celebrate each other. So you can see how I have a decent amount of glue all the way around. And I'm going to take my brush and gently go out toward the edge with the glue. This is why you want enough, but not too much glue. And you do want to make sure that the glue is getting to the edge. You don't want the glue to go over the edge. So if you happen to get your bristles over the edge, take your finger and just swipe along there. It usually doesn't happen. So just make sure that your glue is getting out. It's really important to have it out near the edge. But to squeeze your glue that close to the edge, you'd have too much glue too close to the edge, and then when you press the two boards together, the glue's just going to splooge out on you. So you definitely want to probably use this technique with the paintbrush. And you can get little cheapy paintbrushes at the Dollar Tree or your dollar store or discount store, wherever you're located. And if you just have your kids, like this is an old Crayola one that Isabella had. So just go ahead and use what you have. If you can't find anything at home, just grab one at the discount store, Dollar Tree, Walmart, any place like that. Okay, so you can see I've got it all brushed out, and I'd kind of like to go along in certain spots that I see I might need a little more. And again, getting close to the edge. You want that glue to come all the way out there. You don't want any chance that it's gonna not have glue along the edging. Okay, so that's looking really good. A little bit more over here. Okay, now bring your bottom piece back, and now you're going to squeeze some glue in the middle of your top piece. You can see not too much, but you do want enough glue in there so that it can adhere to the back piece. And if you got any glue on your fingers, now's the time to get that off. And any fuzzies that might be sticking out, or fabric fibers that made their way to your workspace, which if you work with fabric, you know happens all the time. Place your top very carefully on the bottom. Clean your fingers off here real good a second. Okay. And pick up your ornament. Line up your corners. Line up your sides, your top. Turn it over. Make sure you have everything looking good from the front and the back, and pressing together while you're doing that. And I press mine on the table. It's a really good idea to do that. And then press with your hands as best you can and get that secure. Double check yourself. Make sure that you've got your edges lined up really nice, and clip away. So I'm placing the clips on the corners first. And make sure as you go along, everything's even. Just excuse the wiggles there for a minute. I've got to get some more quilt clips. Okay. Okay. And proceed clipping. You don't want to clip all the way on like this because there's extra space here. You really want to focus the tip of the clips, even clothespins, where the rounded part of the clothespin is. I don't have one handy right this second, but where the rounded part of the clothespin is where you'd want to have along your edge. So clip all the way around, and you can see they really do hold it tight. And these clips are flat on one side and curved. I'll show you one in color. Flat on this side, and then they're curved along the top side. And you want the flat side to be on the bottom so that when you lay it down and you're going to put weight on it, you don't have the clip causing any space, you know, between your item and the flat space where you're going to be drying your item. So you want to go ahead, and when you get near the ribbon, you do want to get as close to the ribbon, but don't clip over your ribbon. So get your corners really good. After I put the clip on the corner, I like to give a squeeze like that. Make sure that your clips are close to the corner, and I'll move that a little closer. And that is how we make an ornament that you are going to place your beautiful cross stitch or embroidery piece on, either for yourself or giving for a gift. I like the ornaments and the flat fold stand-ups because you can give them as gifts and people don't have to worry about trying to find a place to hang an item that you made for them. So I really like those. And again, we have a whole bunch of fabrics and options available for you. If there's something you're looking for specifically, feel free to let us know. We're happy to curate any fabrics that you're looking for. So we have a lot of available to us and at our disposal. So please feel free to send us a message on our Etsy store or on Instagram. We're also on Facebook. So One Nana Two Girls on Instagram, Etsy, and Facebook. And I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. This is going to go in the press. So we're going to sit some heavy items on top of here to hold this together. And we do recommend setting your heavy items on top for probably about 3 to 5 hours, I would say, just to make sure that everything's good and dry and that your Aleene's tacky glue has completed its drying process. And then they do recommend 24 hours full cure for that. So I wouldn't hang your ornament after just making it. I wouldn't hang it for another day after it's all completed and drying. So thank you so much for joining us today. And we really appreciate you coming to watch our tutorial. And we hope you have a happy and healthy winter and stay warm and stay safe.